Hi guys, you are watching the movie recap of the film The Dare. At the beginning of the movie, we see Jay and his family. His family consists of his wife Jess and two daughters Molly and Poppy. He is about to put his daughters to sleep after narrating the story when someone enters their house and knocks Jay on the head and makes him unconscious. When he opens his eyes, he finds something strange and sees that there are three other people with him: Adam, Kat, and Paul. Seeing them, he tries to escape from the jail, but he falls to the ground and sees that one of his hands is tied with a chain. Jay tries to open the handcuff, but he fails. When he asks about his wife and children, Kat tells him that only he has been picked up. Jay asks them where is this place. Adam reveals to him that it is a jail and getting out from there is impossible. Then another part of the story starts playing in which we see a small child named Dominic. Credence comes in front of him, gives him raw meat to eat, and says that this is his home now. After that, when Dominic was cleaning the floor, Credence tossed a bag of meat from the market. He dropped it. Credence gets angry and pours the pig's blood on him. He also tells Dominic always to remember who saved him. Dominic asks him he wants to see his mother, but Credence tells him there is no one for him, and if his father and mother cared about him, they would have come looking for him already. And Credence also warns him if Dominic ever upsets him, he would kill Dominic. The little boy is scared of Credence and his cruel words. After that, we see Jay and the other prisoners looking at the rest. It is known that they were tortured and Paul could not even speak because his mouth was sewn up and he was half dead. He is asking everyone who is doing all this, and maybe there's been some misunderstanding because he is a good person and he has not done anything wrong in his life. After that, we see Dominic having breakfast with Credence, and when Dominic fails to answer a question Credence asked, he stabs Dominic in his leg with a fork and tells him to let the evil inside him come out. We can clearly see torture the little boy is taking from Credence, making and getting used to it. Back in the jail room, a piece of meat is thrown inside. Kat takes it and shares it with Adam and Jay. Jay won't eat it since it is not cooked. Jay is new there and he doesn't know that it is the only food they get. Adam and Kat start eating the meat while Jay starts scratching the walls to make a hole outside. Seeing that, Adam tells him it is a waste of time, but Jay doesn't listen to him and continues scratching. Jay asks about Paul, and Kat explains that he is given injections that keep him alive. Adam points Jay to Paul and says that is his future too, because Paul tried the same to escape from there and the act led him to his condition. Jay doesn't listen to them, instead continues scratching, in which he injures his finger and uproots his nail, but he still does not give up and starts digging the ground where he finds the skeleton of someone's head. Dominic and Credence are playing chess. Credence asks him something and he does not respond to the question, and that makes Credence angry again. He yells, which causes him to cough. Just then, seeing the opportunity, Dominic picks up the key from there and runs out. As soon as he reaches out, he remembers who he will go to. After all, his parents left him and never came to find him. And thinking that no one loved him, he returned to that house. He comes and starts taking care of his future. All his thoughts and beliefs are developing based on what he sees and hears from Credence. Credence also asks him not to leave him again, to which Dominic agrees. Dominic will be given a horseshoe mark on his hand, and Credence makes a similar one on his hand too. Later one day, Credence hands him a knife and asks Dominic to stab him in the shoulder to bring out the devil inside him. Dominic does exactly what he is told, and the blood flows from the wound. Dominic sees that and he is not scared of the blood anymore. Credence compliments him for doing that, which reveals the cruel mentality of Credence. In the jail room, Jay notices a camera on the corner of the room and understands that the kidnapper placed it. He starts abusing the kidnapper. Suddenly, the door opens and their kidnapper walks into the room. He wore a mask on his face and makes Paul to lie on the ground, calls Kat to him, gives her a knife in his hand, and asks her to wound Paul's body and take out his skin. After that, the kidnapper gives the knife to Jay, which he picks up and stabs on the kidnapper's shoulder, and Kat gets punished for Jay's mistake. The kidnapper grabs Kat and asks Adam to put a worm in her mouth, which he does. Kat swallows the insect, but when the kidnapper leaves, Kat vomits out the worm. Jay crushes the insect with his feet and sees that it has a blade with it. Jay uses the blade and starts cutting the rope on his hand. Adam warns him not to do anything stupid, but he continues cutting the rope. The kidnapper sees that through the camera and comes inside again, but Jay manages to push him aside and run out of the room. Running away, he reaches near a door that cannot be opened, so he fails to escape from there. When he opens his eyes, he finds himself tied to a chain in the same room. The kidnapper comes again, opens Adam's lock, knocks Jay unconscious by hitting him in the head, and asks Adam to hammer the nail in Jay's hand. After doing this, Adam binds himself back, and he leaves from there. As soon as Jay opens his eyes, he groans in pain and pulls his hand from the wall. After that, he asks all others if any of them have seen the kidnapper's face, which they did not. But Paul tries to say something in gestures, but no one understands, and he dies without saying it. Here it is revealed why his mouth is sewn up, because he knows who that is, and the kidnapper wants him to say nothing about it. Just then, Adam remembers that he saw the horseshoe mark in his hand, and Jay starts to remember that he knows all those people, and the story goes into flashback. As a child, Paul, Kat, Adam, and Jay have come together for a summer vacation where they were sitting in the woods telling a story of a freak. They hear a sound and see someone standing behind the tree. Everyone is scared, but suddenly a boy named Dominic comes out from the dark and stands in front of them. They are relaxed, finding out it is just a boy. As they return to their house, Dominic starts following them. Understanding that Dominic wants to join them, they asked him to do some dare game. First, they put a worm in his mouth, which he swallows, then a spider which enters his ear, and put a handful of earthworms on his body. After doing all this, they leave Dominic in the woods that night. The next day, when Dominic is sitting outside her house, Kat comes and tells him that she wants to show him something, and she takes him to her gang and asks him to go to a house. She also tells him that it is the last dare. He will be their best friend after completing it. Believing them, he goes inside Credence's house where he will be kidnapped. Others don't wait for him or say anything to anyone. They leave Dominic there and run from that place. Their summer vacation ends and everyone goes back to their places. A few years later, when Dominic grows up, he breaks into a secret room in Credence's house and sees photographs of Credence's son Henry, photographs and some articles about his own disappearance, and an article in which his parents are burned in the fire. After seeing all this, he comes out of the room and sees that Credence is standing there, and in anger, he starts beating Dominic. Credence knocks him unconscious and is about to put him in the boiler, but Dominic regains his consciousness and beats Credence down and at last hangs him on the chains used to boil the pig. After telling Credence that he knew his real parents looked for him and what he did to them, Dominic puts him in the boiling water and kills him. Jay tells everyone to apologize to him for the mistake they have made. Others don't believe doing that would change his mind, but Jay anyhow plans to do it and hence calls out his name aloud so that he can hear them. Dominic hears the voice in his secret room, comes inside angrily and points an electric stick towards Jay, but he doesn't beat him. Instead, Dominic grabs Kat and demands Jay to put the spider in her ear, which she did to Dominic when they were kids. Jay begs him not to make him do it, but Dominic forces him, and at last Jay has no other choice than to obey him and put it inside Kat's ear using a syringe. Then Dominic sees the dead body of Paul and hits his head to the wall in frustration, anger, because he was the one who gave the first clue to find out his true identity. After that, he closes the door and leaves 3 of them inside. Inside Dominic's secret room, he takes up the album and sticks the photo of Paul, indicating he is done with one of them. Meanwhile, he sees an argument breaking out inside the jail between Adam and Jay. At the end of that argument, Adam stabs Jay and kills him. Dominic, seeing all this on the security camera, becomes more annoyed by the action because he doesn't want them to be dead soon. He wants to enjoy torturing them more. He takes up the pipe and goes inside the jail again. There he sprays poke blood on Jay, but Jay won't wake up. As Dominic lifts him up, Jay grabs him, and everyone attacks Dominic from all sides. The death of Jay was a plan to trick Dominic and kill him, but they become unsuccessful in that, and as a result, Dominic asks Kat to put a worm in Adam's eye. She unwillingly does what Dominic asks her to do. Then he takes the knife and moves towards Jay, but Kat starts scolding him behind, with words making him remember his past. It drives him crazy and he leaves the room. While going, he leaves the knife inside with them. Jay takes the knife and frees himself first and then frees Kat. After that, they both together pluck out the eye of Adam in which the worm was put. Meanwhile, Dominic is showing all his frustration on the things inside his room. He breaks all the bottles holding bees and also the monitor to which the camera from the jail was attached. After that, Adam is frightened because he feels that Dominic will kill him. Saying that he is the weakest among them, he demands the knife which Jay is holding, but Jay doesn't give him the knife, and that leads to a fight between them. Kat from behind hits Adam with that skull they found, and the knife enters through Adam's mouth, which leads to his death. Kat is scared of what she did, but Jay calms her, saying it is not her fault. As he was talking to her, she snatches the knife from Jay and says it was Jay's mistake leaving Dominic in that house when they were kids. When she is about to stab Jay, Dominic comes from behind and grabs her. Jay tries to talk him out of killing and removes his mask. That is where Dominic's face is revealed and they see it. The talking is working out. Jay also manages to take the knife from his hand, but suddenly the spider which was put inside Kat's ear comes out through her mouth. Dominic is distracted by seeing that. Using that as an opportunity, Jay stabs him in the back, and as he turns, Jay stabs him again, but this time it was Kat whom Jay stabs. She falls to the ground and Dominic cuts through her stomach and pulls out her insiders before she dies. Dominic realizes what Jay said before was not real and hence decides to kill him. They have a fight and Jay knocks him down and takes an iron bucket to kill him, but he couldn't do it. After that, Jay somehow manages to run out from the house, but Dominic follows him to the woods. At last, understanding that killing Dominic is the only option to save him, Jay stabs Dominic and escapes. Later that night, we see Jay reuniting with his wife and family. After 10 years, the two girls of Jay are with their boyfriends in the same forest where Dominic lives, and they talk about him in his cruel stories. Suddenly, a sound comes and Dominic with the mask on grabs them both from behind. This movie was released in 2019 and has collected $271,478 internationally. So this was all about the movie. I hope you liked it.